financial problems, elder law, criminal law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by THAV GROSS. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Today's topic is Ancestry DNA testing. Be prepared for some big surprises. Jeff Linden, good morning.
Morning, Ken.
Brian Small, good morning.
Good morning.
Scott Weinberg, good morning.
Hello, hello.
Pat Samasco, good morning. Pat, you're going to lead us on this topic. This is the one you alerted me to it. Let me just give you a little quick, some headlines. Bloomberg, surprise DNA results are turning customer service reps into therapists. WFTV ABC Orlando, home DNA tests sometimes yield genetic surprises. CNBC, as a home DNA tests become more common, people must grapple with surprises about their parents.
So
what's going on here?
All right, so
how does this happen?
well, last Christmas, everyone in the world got the 23andMe or Ancestry.
But hang on a second. It has a lot to do with the UPS man and Dad being away.
Yeah, no, well, maybe. So you want to find out what part of the world
You were just
came
using
from.
UPS as a generic example. You weren't putting any finger
love
to them
UPS.
because they have
Yes,
a lot more money than
I
Law and
understand, yes,
Reality.
that's
He meant
correct.
the unemployed
All right, so
parental
continue.
substitute.
You do the mouth swab and you send it in and you find out what part of the world you're from, your ancestry is. Well, if you check the next box, it says you want to see who your relatives are. Well, what's
They
happening?
charge you extra for that?
No. But you get a lot of free surprises. In 1 week, I had 3 separate cases where the client comes in and says, my daughter, who's sitting right here, I just found out is not my daughter. My wife was having an affair on me. So when we do the DNA test, she's not listed as one of my children.
Oh, my
Wow.
goodness.
3 in 1 week. And I told everybody it's 3 in 1 week. And where the first client was me. My dad, I did a test and my results came out and I got an email from someone that said, hey, I think you're my brother. And back in 1963, he has 5 brothers and his niece did a test and only one of the brothers was her uncle. The other 3 boys have different fathers.
Oh, my.
And we
Whoa.
got an email and one of the guys says that, hey, I think you're my brother.
And
because-
did it turn out to be your brother?
Well, that's the Jerry Springer moment. I went to visit him in Saginaw last week.
He's a
and
short little Jewish guy like me.
He looked exactly. Well, my dad, his mom worked in the courts. My dad was a lawyer in Mount Clemens, an icon in the Mount Clemens area.
Yep.
And he just thought he was my brother because we looked so much alike and we looked exactly alike. So he did the DNA test, I did the DNA test, and it came out, not my brother.
Not your brother?
Not my brother.
Oh.
Not my brother. But now it's really sad because
he looked like your brother.
Oh, he looked exactly like my, and a nice guy, great guy. All he wants to know is who his dad is. Because right now he knows that his mom was having various relationships, and but it's
so
happening
at
left
the point you got the notice in the match, you didn't know for sure. You weren't getting a positive that he was your brother.
Yeah.
You just created the possibility.
Yeah, it was a freak out moment. Oh my God, what does he want? Does he want something from us? Is he an heir? Is he entitled to collect from us? He has a presumed parent, which is the dad on the birth certificate. And then 2 more cases that week where the husband's sitting there and he goes, I need to talk about my estate plan because we just found out that my daughter, I've had her for 35 years, the mother was having an affair on me and it's not my daughter.
So mother wasn't at the estate planning meeting?
It was a second wife.
Okay.
Yeah. So what do you do then? What do you do with the estate plans? You have to identify those situations.
So do you
Well, do you?
recommend?
I mean, he's the father on the birth certificate.
That's the rule. If
Yeah,
you're,
I had no idea.
Disprove
I've
it.
thought
It's
about the
assumption.
Ancestry.com, and like when we have the holidays and there's some time off and I'm watching a commercial, I've thought about like doing that just to get my family tree, because my parents are gone. I have no one even to ask anymore to trace, and I really don't know a lot about my heritage. But I never even heard or thought about the DNA testing until you mentioned it, and at the same time I was reading a David Balducci book, and it's a subplot of one of the books leading into a whole murder scenario. But this is major prevalence.
this is a big
Well, wait,
deal.
is
It
it
creates some
is it-
big
is
estate
it-
planning issues.
Is it a big
You
deal?
probably don't
if-
want to
if-
do that because you were the tennis
If
pro.
you're on the birth certificate,
Well, my dad
and
was
that's
too.
your child,
That's even
your
worse.
child still
So
has the
here-
right to inherit from you, right?
Well, here it is. So
Or not.
there is a presumption.
But my dad only
It's a
loved
presumption
tennis.
He
who's
wouldn't have
on
done
the birth
anything else.
certificate.
And my mom.
There's a rebuttable presumption that if the daughter was born in the marriage and the daughter is on the dad is the birth certificate,
Right.
he's the only one that can rebut the presumption. He can say that's not my daughter. The daughter can't come in and say you're not my dad because I want Brian's money. Brian has way more money than me, so I want to go after Brian's money because I know he's my real father. It's only the father on the birth certificate that has the right to contest it.
So
explain
wait, so
it
the
to me.
daughter wouldn't have the right
No.
to go after?
Well, she has the
we can-
right to be able to get tested. She can't order him to get tested.
She cannot be an heir of two dads.
Yeah.
What if so let's say it was determined that I'm representing the child, and I find out that somebody else who's extremely wealthy is my father.
Yeah, let's use Prince. Prince
I'm left-
passed away.
Yeah.
He's got a bunch of kids, and the one daughter has a mom and dad, but the mom went to one of the concerts, and she went over there, and she had an affair, and the baby is really Prince's baby. If the dad...
The baby's not left anything in the will,
No.
or in the estate. Well, he doesn't
Or
have
not
he didn't have a
acknowledged.
will. Okay.
Yeah, so if the father that was listed on the birth certificate in that marriage is the only one that says that you're my daughter. If he wants to fight it and say, you're not my daughter, I'm going to cut that legal tie, now you can go find your own dad and do some type of a DNA test with the second.
All right, we're coming up to a break. What I'm not clear on is, so let's say I'm the child. My father says that I am his child, even though I'm not. Am I allowed to then find out who my real father is and go after that estate if I've been left out? When we come back from the break, that's what I want to know.
That's the question.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP.
Criminal matters are serious. Your freedom, future, and wallet are on the line. Criminal defense attorney Scott Weinberg is a former prosecutor and renowned criminal lawyer. For over 30 years, he's the go-to defender in Michigan to protect your rights. Scott's advice: you have the right to remain silent. Use it. If charged with a crime, call Scott Weinberg today. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. And remember, stay silent.
Will I outlive my money?
Medicaid is so confusing.
A will, or do I need a trust?
What if mom needs to go in a nursing home?
At Samasco Law, we have the answers to all of these questions. Our attorneys will eliminate the confusion and develop a plan that's right for you. We are dedicated to veterans' benefits, assisted living, and nursing home care. Samasco Law can help prepare you for a long future. Call Samasco Law today.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP.
All right, we're back. Okay, so here's my question. I'm the child. I do my Ancestry DNA testing. I find out that Bill, who owns this mega real estate empire, he's got blonde hair, is my father. Bill doesn't recognize me as his child.
Bill doesn't even know about
Doesn't know. Rich, who is, I thought my dad my whole life, has been a great dad, and I love him very dearly, but I now know Rich, who's not rich, is my dad.
I want the money.
Do I have the right to go after Bill and
No.
claim my share?
No. You're not allowed to be an heir at law for two dads. The only one that can say that you're not my son or daughter is the one that's on the birth certificate.
That's Rick.
Rick can say, okay, you're not my daughter. We fought it. We looked at the blood results. You're not my daughter. So now you're open to go find your own dad.
All right, so I go to Rick and I say, Rick, Dad, Rick, I found out you're not my dad.
And here's
I know you knew that anyway. I don't hold it against you, but I need you to sign me off.
Right.
Confirm that I'm not your kid.
Right. Now.
Because this way I can go after Bill, and when we're done with that, we'll have so much money that I'll take care of the whole family.
And that happened. There's a big car dealership in this area that the guy died, and he never had a will, and everything went to his children. Well, there's two children at the table. Next third one says, hey, by the way, my mom said blood results. She got a third of his multi-million-dollar estate.
Because she had no one on her birth
They
certificate?
didn't list anybody on the birth certificate. Yeah. If there was a dad listed on the birth certificate, she can't fight that. And this is the trouble. If dad dies, the birth certificate dad dies, there's no one that can fight it at that point. He died, it dies with him.
What if the new dad acknowledges, yes, that's my daughter, does a DNA test, it determines that it is her daughter, his daughter, and he wants to leave something to
Then
her.
you have to amend your estate to say, I'm going to give it to whoever I want.
That's a little bit crazy in that, suppose a dad, he's fraudulently indicating that I'm the child on the birth certificate, knowing that it's not true, that he didn't father me, because we know that Bill fathered me, and because he won't unravel the birth certificate that he fraudulently did, I'm denied my right to go after my inheritance from Bill?
You say it that way, fraudulent, but you have a daughter for the last 35 years. And all of a sudden she takes a little swab and says, you're not my daughter anymore? What's the definition of
it would only be fraudulently if he knew. It wouldn't be fraudulent if he thought he was my father.
Well, think of 35 years ago, man. Went back when you were old and a little kid. There wasn't any DNA tests and stuff like that. That's your kid.
Thank God.
I'm not doing the DNA
testing as it is.
I don't want Big Brother to have
We
my
know
DNA.
we're from Germany and Poland and France.
Let me tell you, whenever you're convicted of a felony in this state, you have to go get a mouth swab, a saliva swab, so they have your DNA.
Forever.
I am not giving anybody my DNA. All these tests, it's one big
I got
bank
news for you,
of
Bob. I'm
everybody
gonna tell
having
you.
I got
DNA.
news for you. We got your DNA right now.
Give me that.
If I found out that you were my brother, I'd be proud to have you as
that's
my
very
brother.
nice.
There
Nice
you
little
go.
Jewish brother.
All right, so all right, let me turn it around.
He's looking
Okay,
for my money
so-
right now. I can just
So I've been giving you the child's perspective.
Think of the dad.
Now let's go to the parent's perspective. The dad goes or mom goes and does this DNA testing and finds out that their child
we get them
is
all the
not
time.
really their child.
Yeah.
Every family comes in.
Well, the child
You really
is the
get that
mother's
all
child.
the time.
Not the
Oh,
father's
God,
child.
yeah.
It's always going to be the mother's child. She knows whether she gave birth.
You got to. So here's the estate plan.
I think you have a good
I would
point.
hope
Okay, you got to
This
say.
is why you're one of the most brilliant lawyers I've ever met.
Absolutely.
I have 3 children, Joe, Jim, and Pat. I want my stuff to go to Joe, Jim, and Pat, period.
Right.
Don't say I give my stuff to my children. Because if I say to my children, and Brian's my child, because
Right.
my dad got
He
around.
just cut in for, and most estate plan, or a lot of them just say to my children.
Yeah. You
So
got to
really you need to
identify
start
who
saying
it is.
to my children, but specifically only these children, or just name the
Yeah.
children.
Especially handwritten wills.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
never going to
Or
specify.
you need to go the next step to say, if it turns out I have any other children,
Yeah.
they are excluded.
Yes. So this is the next level, though. I give everything to Brian, right? And then, but
Well,
if
why
Brian
would you-
Can you just write a
dies,
check right now?
if I give everything to Brian,
what
but if
about me?
Brian dies, it goes to his next of kin, which is his children. My grandchildren. Well, he has 2, but he's got 3 from Michigan State and 4 from Ferris when he went up there for a weekend, and then he's got all these kids running
So now
around.
you need to
Just
name
stay
the
there,
grandchildren.
Then you better identify who
Nobody
that
does
is.
that.
No one,
Well,
because
'cause
we never
everybody-
had to worry about it
So we got to
before.
start changing the way we're doing the
We don't-
estate plan.
Yeah.
Or you need to update them, because what happens is people do that and they're like, well, okay, I'm young when I'm doing this if they're planning, and I know that I might have more children or that my kids are going to have children, and I don't know what their names are going to be now.
Right.
Can you what if you put in your estate plan, this is my estate plan, it shall be interpreted on the basis that none of my heirs that I've identified in this estate plan or trust have any DNA testing. If they do, whatever results come from that testing shall be ignored conclusively.
Can you say that?
You can put whatever you want in there.
That probably wouldn't
Most
It's not gonna be
likely, though,
enforceable.
it's not going to be a big problem because every child has a dad listed on the birth certificate. So that child with Scott as the dad on the birth certificate isn't going to want to give up little Johnny as a child to get Brian's money, right? He's got way more money than Brian.
My kids bug me a little.
Yeah, well, you can cut them off. But, so it really hasn't exploded because there's all these birth certificates with a mom and a dad
When
on
we
it.
come back from the break, I want to just narrow down what we do need to change and protect in the estate plans.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
A lifetime of hard work. If you don't have the right plan in place, you can lose your home, your savings, and more. And you didn't come this far to lose everything. Samasco Law wants you to know that laws are changing. Today, the average cost of nursing home care is $85,000 a year. With proper planning, we can help protect your life savings and get you the Medicaid and nursing home benefits you deserve.
How much can you afford to lose? Call Samasco Law today.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Time for announcements. Want to remind our viewers to listen to us for Law and Reality Live on the Praise Network, Tuesdays 10 a.m. and Saturdays 7 a.m., and on KISS 105.9, Sundays 7 o'clock a.m. Be sure and sign up for our monthly contest. Free $100 Visa gift card, Law and Reality golf hat, and a copy of my book, Dump Your Debt. Just go to the website, lawandreality.com, pop in your email address, and you're entered into the contest. We've got seminars coming up. On Wednesday, November 6th, 6 to 7:30 p.m., we have a seminar, Learn the Switch from Debt to Savings. This is a debt elimination seminar. We're going to go through all the processes we use to eliminate debt so you can start saving money for your future and for retirement. The goal is, by eliminating the debt, you then are able to take that excess cash that you were paying to your creditors and start saving some of it so that you don't get into debt in the future and so that you start accumulating savings for retirement. We'll have a couple special segments. Jeff Linden's going to talk about how to resolve tax issues. Scott Weinberg will do a segment on how to handle a traffic ticket. Attendees get a free copy of my book, Dump Your Debt. Sign up at thavgross.com, lawandreality.com, or call 888-235-HELP. Remember, you can always come into the firm for a free consultation. Debt issues with Brian, tax issues with Jeff, estate planning issues with Brian, business law issues with myself, elder law issues with Pat, disability issues with Jeff Kirshner, criminal issues with Scott Weinberg. Just go to the website. There's always a link there that you can click to request a free consult, or just call anytime, 888-235-HELP. Also, take a look at our website. There's 4 great reports there that are free. All you have to do is click the button and they'll be emailed directly to you. The newest one is Resolving Tax Problems, The Real Solutions, written by yours truly. Also, How to Save Your Home from Foreclosure, Business Formations, Loans and Grants for Small Businesses in Detroit and Michigan, and The Retiree's Guide to Social Security from Pat Samasco. I want to thank our sponsors, THAV Gross, Samasco Law, Michigan Criminal Lawyers, PLC, and Jeff Kirshner Law. Now back to the show.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV Gross.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV Gross today, 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
All right, we're back. This is crazy, is what I want to say, but I want to try and take 2 scenarios so that we have them kind of concrete. Okay. I find out my father's not my father. I have to go and have him sign off on on my birth certificate that he's not my father before I could go after my true father and claim an inheritance on that estate, correct? Okay, now, in my father's shoes, my father has given me...
So Dad does a will, and Dad says, I leave everything to Joe, Jim, and my 3 kids. If he finds out the one kid is not his kid, he doesn't need to change anything. If he wants to keep that child as a beneficiary.
I'm still a child.
He's still a child. The dad is the only one that can fight that.
If Dad wants to change it, can he?
He can absolutely change it and cut him out if he wants to.
And then the 35 years I've been his son doesn't mean anything.
And
what if Dad's
just cutting him out, though, doesn't mean the son can go find his new dad.
What if Dad's incompetent? What if Dad...
If he dies, he loses the right to contest it. And if he's incompetent, I would assume you lose the right to...
If he's incompetent, but his wife, who's my mother, is the durable power of attorney, can she then, on his behalf, cut me out?
No. Potentially, I mean, I know how to do it a lot of different ways, but usually the mom and the son have a good relationship. It's the 3 other brothers that hate his guts.
So if they're on the power of attorney, then I got big problems.
You could try, yeah.
Because
it is crazy.
The child's still the child of mom.
You're right.
Mom was there.
Now let's flip it over because Jeff raised another one while we were at the break. I do get Dad to sign off. I go after Prince's estate or the big real estate mogul with the blonde hair, and I have this $20 million inheritance coming.
Sweet.
What were you raising?
Well, when you got
I didn't die.
When you got your raising father to sign off and release you, that chain, that inheritance path gets cut in both directions. So now that you've gotten wealthy biological dad's money and something, God forbid, happens to you and you've passed away and you're not married without children, if that didn't happen, the parents who raised you and your siblings would inherit from you. But now, because Dad has released you, they don't.
But I can solve that by doing an estate plan.
You can solve that by doing an estate plan.
In that estate plan, I don't say I'm leaving it to my brother and sister. If I mention brother and sister, I put them by name, and I clarify that even though I know they're not my biological brother and sister.
But remember,
the mother might be the biological mother.
But also,
wow, this is nutty.
Remember, with all of this, this will get you on some really, really good talk shows.
We're on a really good talk show now.
Yeah, you can't do this is
Yeah,
top. When you're at the top, Brian, you don't worry about
Right now,
going down
we're
the
gonna hear a
ladder.
knock. Here, my brother's coming in the door right now.
Remember the show we said don't leave the pile of money on the desk? Well, this show is if you're at the top of the ladder, don't worry about climbing down.
Right.
Yeah, but we don't have the guests on to throw chairs at each other.
Yeah, but the best is my.
I didn't tell you something. I'm going with Scott. I'm not giving anyone my DNA.
I'm not giving anybody my
I
DNA.
felt really bad for this guy who was supposed to be. He didn't have a dad. He does not know who. He wasn't trying to get money from me. He wasn't trying to get.
He was just looking for a
connection. He's got a
connection.
brother. Yeah, he wanted to know. Yeah, that's what we said. We're still going to be like brothers. We got friends, but he's not a biological. But now he's out searching. He's out searching for who his real dad is. So there's got to be
a lot of people in this same boat doing the same thing. If you've run across one where it covered yourself and 2 others in the course of a week, this is going to explode as you go further.
Every Christmas when people get this DNA test, 23andMe, Ancestry, are just going to start going.
I'm going to give all
But look at the positive side of all that, too.
23. I'm not giving you
all this DNA testing has been really, really helpful in solving a lot of cold case files, criminal files.
Well, it's true, but and I see that actually all the time. But it sits on the desk of a prosecutor of the Michigan State Police in Michigan, and it does. You think it gets solved, but there are thousands of cases that are never going to get through because they're so inefficient to be able to go through it because it's a complicated process.
It's called the Innocence Project through Cooley Law School, where they get the DNA test and start challenging these old convictions, and they get the results.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a wrap. Great topic. Thanks for bringing it to us, Pat. Have a great week, everybody. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality.